In this episode, I'm talking about a crossroads, a kind of crossroads that if you haven't already experienced it, you will. I am certain of that. This kind of crossroads shows up. Sometimes it's in a text, or it's in a meeting, or it's a confrontation. And you might have like a flash of anxiety in your chest, or your stomach might immediately start hurting. You might get a headache. It's the moment when you are faced with a a situation that is familiar, and you can feel your old self, the version of you that you're trying to peel off. That version of you is is trying to rise up and respond, but something in you whispers, that's not who I am anymore. At the same time, you haven't quite built, like, you don't have the muscle memory yet for the new response either. And so you sit in this tension. That crossroads is the tension that you wrestle with, where you are asking yourself, well, what do I do now? And you struggle to figure out what to do. That's where this episode is sitting. Let's get into it. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Confident Women Glow. I'm Mo James, and this is the podcast where we dive into self discovery, self trust, and self expression to help you create a life that's true to who you really are. I believe that confidence isn't just a mindset, it's a practice. It's about showing up boldly even when life feels messy and owning your journey every step of the way. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get into this episode. Can we take a moment to talk about reflection and growth? I know this journey of self discovery, self trust, and self expression isn't always easy, but having the right tools makes all the difference. And that's why I created the Inner Strength Journal. This isn't just another journal, it's a space for you to connect with your thoughts, honor your emotions, and design your masterpiece life one page at a time. Each prompt in this journal is carefully crafted to help you dig deeper into what matters most to you, to build your confidence, and to take aligned action. So, if you're ready to carve out intentional time for yourself and start designing a life that feels true to who you are, grab your copy of the Inner Strength Journal today. Head over to innerstrengthjournal.com to order yours now. Your journey deserves this space. So, like a lot of my podcast episodes, this one was inspired by a real conversation I had with somebody who was in a situation that was triggering, and it was familiar. And they were not sure how to respond. And we talked through it, and I asked them, well, what would the old you have done in this situation? And they named it. That this version might have like over explained or shrunk down or lashed out or went numb. And then I asked, well, what does the version of you who's evolving, what does that version want to do? And they paused. And then I could hear like the, and then the clarity came. And the truth is, we all face moments like this. The it's that point of inflection, reflection, having to choose between what is expired and what is evolving. I had a moment like this week. And once I identified how the evolving version of me wants to respond, and I responded that way, the situation became funny. Like immediately I could see how the other person was crashing out. and I could have met them in the crash out, but that's the old version of me. And here's the thing, the old version of you, the expired version, the version that you are letting yourself release, that version of you is not bad. That version of you allowed you to get here. That version of you got you through some very difficult times in your life. That version of you probably knew how to survive, how to defend you, how to protect you. And you might be realizing that right now, that version of you is responding from trauma or from unhealed places and not from truth, not from healing. I'll say it that way, not from the place that you are trying to get to. It's that version of you was responding from urgency and not alignment, from fear and not freedom. And when you feel that version of you rising up, whether it's through maybe a pattern of people pleasing or a tendency to silence yourself or to get defensive or to just knee jerk react to other people, I want you to know that that doesn't mean you are failing. It actually means you are becoming more aware. You are recognizing your old code. You know how, like, when you update your phone, you are recognizing that you are in the midst of an upgrade. And every upgrade usually exposes issues with connectivity. It doesn't mean you're failing, it means you are noticing the difference between who you used to be and who you are becoming. And that's a beautiful moment. That's a beautiful space to be in. Your evolving self is coming forth. She is coming out of the shell. She's stretching her limbs. She's expanding. And she wants different than what the previous version of you wanted. But she is also still finding her rhythm. So, what do you do when you're at that crossroads moment and it's like your growth hasn't caught up yet to your reflex? Like your reflexes are still quick. Instead of letting the reflex lead, I want you to pause, take a beat, breathe, check in. This person, that's what they did. They checked in. And I want you to ask yourself, what is what's really needed? Like what's actually needed here? What is the outcome I'm hoping for? What would feel like peace? Because that's the one. What would feel like peace to the woman I'm becoming? And it might be hard to act from that space at that moment and that understand that that is okay because whether you are leaning all the way in to the fullest illustration of your evolving self of who you're becoming, you might not get 100 on by that benchmark. The key here is to recognize, to acknowledge for yourself that you're not mindlessly reacting in the way that your expired self used to. And that still counts as progress. That still means you are becoming, you are unlearning that version and replacing those patterns and habits and practices with something new. That is progress. That relearning or replacing what you are peeling off with something else, That's how you are building your confidence. You are developing your confidence in real time. Every moment, every opportunity you choose not to allow the expired version of you to lead, you are strengthening the foundation of your evolving self. You are adding another brick to the foundation of a woman who understands herself, trusts herself, and has her own back. And the truth is, the process is not always cute. It's not always graceful. Sometimes you will be out here wobbling like a baby deer, learning how to use its legs. It's real and it still counts. That still counts. So I want you to know that if you are listening to this and you are in that in between space, you are in that tension. Like you wake up every morning and that tension is like, hey, here we go again. You are in it. I want you to know that you are not alone in that. This is the part, like the messy middle part, that I believe this is the sacred space. This is the holy ground. This is the space. This is the room where it's happening. It's happening in that tug, that push and pull between who you used to be and who you're becoming, between what you're trying to let go of and what you're trying to pick up. That space is sacred. And in that space, you need to lean in on trusting yourself even more. Lean on people who can remind you of what you said you wanted for yourself. Lean on resources and tools. I hope this podcast is that for you so that you can remember what you are doing and why you are doing it, that you can be reminded of who you are becoming. Here's your reminder: you are not broken because the expiring version of you still tries to speak up. You're actually growing because you hear her. You recognize her voice as one that you are untangling yourself from, and you give yourself permission to choose differently. And that's the real glow up. So I want you to keep walking this thing out, keep choosing the masterpiece life that you are designing for yourself, even when the vision is a little bit blurry. Even when you got to squint to see it, I want you to keep choosing it, especially when it looks blurry, because that's how you will remind you that you and the life that you are designing for yourself are worth it. Take care of yourself. Thanks for listening. Okay. Thanks for sticking with me to the end of this episode. I hope you are feeling inspired and ready to take the next step toward your masterpiece life. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love it if you left a rating or review in your podcast player. It helps more women like you find the show. And if you're ready for deeper conversations and support, come join us in the Glow Circle membership community. Your first 7 days are free, and we would love to have you. Thank you for being a part of this amazing community. Until next time, keep glowing. Later.